Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Deciphering My Experience. My name is Eric, and boy, are things getting hot in the secret space program community. Got some interesting stuff on the table that I'm going to be presenting, but first, before we go that much further, I just want to say that I will have Ramona Freeborn back in studio this Halloween weekend. She'll be passing through town, so I will be very fortunate enough to grab her ear again and have a nice chat. But with that being said, today, I have some information coming from John Warner IV, who, as most of you know, has been on my show before. He is the son of former Secretary of the Navy and Senator of Virginia, if I'm remembering correctly. John Warner III, but I'm not much into politics. I just know that he's been running in those circles for a while, and his son, John Warner IV, and I have been speaking both on air and off air for quite a bit now. And John's a very interesting character. He is certainly not short on words or opinions on things. So he sent me some information recently, and I thought it was fantastic amidst all of the turmoil that's been going on with the who said this and who's in charge of this department and what's going on with UFOs and UAPs. But let's just get down to brass tacks, because John's got some really good thoughts on this. And this here, folks, is this is the start of it. So also, I'm going to ask you to check the links below, because not everything that gets discussed can be discussed on YouTube. So I'll get the ball rolling here. But you're going to have to check the links below to follow along at deciphering.tv, where we can have adult conversations about things. So make sure you check the links below. But for now, let me jump right into what's been going on with John's thoughts. So we got... this is to Jack Sarfatti. He's a physicist and... very interesting intellect. Jack, inspired by the recent email correspondence between Dr. Travis Taylor and Chris Mellon, here is my expanded response in an illustrated PDF article. Frankly, it's far overdue. By the way, I am a fan of Dr. Taylor and his Tesla experiments on the History Channel, a show I thought was great for the general public to easily understand. As a fellow Southerner, I deem his down-to-earth approach to higher physics concepts as being a supremely clever one that's much appreciated by UFO/ET researchers, historians, and the American people alike. Who didn't enjoy Rocket City Rednecks in 2013? As a redneck gearhead myself, I certainly did. This article is not a personal attack on anyone, but a hard-edged, balanced review of what I term as the Mellon Elizondo Task Force, which includes all of the well-known folks associated with the UAP, UFO, ET topics as far as Congress, the mainstream science community, mainstream journalism, the Pentagon, and intel community's current efforts in the news media. No offense to him, but I don't know Louis Elizondo, and I don't care to. My O&I USN captain friend knew him and told me to steer clear and don't believe a damn word out of his mouth. Enough said. Chris's family, and I don't criticize his efforts willy-nilly. Without firm conviction and first-hand experience on my part, it's not personal, it's business. I may not be a veteran or a former government official, but he and I possess the same knowledge, albeit via completely different viewpoints, experiences, and lenses. Not to sound haughty or arrogant by any means, but Chris and I have witnessed and participated in some of the same high-octane social, congressional, senatorial, White House, government, military, and intelligence circles in D.C. throughout our very privileged lifetimes that included endless government travel, world leader meetings, official USN tours of ships and bases, aerospace corporate visits, NASA launches, top brass cocktail parties, sundry military events, etc. Yet our conclusions and beliefs on the UAP, UFO, ET issue are almost at polar opposites. Though not political, he and I were both raised as conservative Republicans, not utopian crystal-wielding hippies. I err strongly on the side of free-thinking libertarian, yet he, I presume, via his actions, is more of a measured neocon. That said, crystalline technologies are the future. True story. During the summer of 1995, did I lose my mouse there? I had the honor to be on board the USS Enterprise carrier off of South Carolina on maneuvers. Dad and I boiled in a cramped stateroom under the steam catapult. He then took command of the Admiral's cold cabin and queen bed for himself and told me and the Admiral to fuck off. At the fantail, alongside crew and a couple of officers at dusk, I saw a massive squadron of possible UFOs on the distant horizon moving northwards that glowed an impossibly bright orange, then mysteriously scattered asunder and disappeared one by one. Everyone stood awed. "Just naval flares from aircraft, people," said a high-rank officer, who then ordered us all to disperse while an F-18 was on approach. "Bullshit," said one of the disgruntled CPOs quietly. The brass always says that. My inner thoughts at the same time were along the line of, end the UFO secrecy now. It's toxic for the nation. I have to wonder what Chris's responses would have been had he been there with me that day. My guess would be more security is needed for the nation's own good, not less. Anyway, this beat a dead horse with a jackhammer opinion piece, one bereft of my usual humor and satire, might rub certain people the wrong way. But that's to be expected in this topsy-turvy, contentious arena of disclosure gladiators. In any case, I have strived for clarity and transparency via analogy in my highly opinionated opposition to this fairly nefarious task force. Well, folks, if that doesn't sound like a whole bunch of John Warner coming at you hot and heavy, I don't know what else to tell you. But I read this, and I'm going to be sharing it on deciphering.tv because I think the world really needs to hear some hard-hitting opinions on what's really going on in the UFO community. I think there's a lot of BS artists. I think there's a lot of shenanigans. I think everybody knows that Corey Goode just got grilled on trial, and everybody seems to be at each other's throats. But the truth is the truth, and the truth is going to make it through all of this turmoil. And I look forward to the folks that have the gumption to be in this fight, because this is it's going to get hot in this kitchen. So hopefully I'll see everybody over at deciphering.tv, where we're going to keep continuing this conversation, because there's a lot to be said. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Have an excellent day. And as always, like, share, subscribe, get this information out there. Do what you can, because it's really important. Have a great day.